It's M.W. Smith, and I don't know why, but tonight I couldn't shake the thought of Frederick Douglass from my mind. Something in me just kept saying, "Look up Frederick Douglass and look up writings on Native Americans, right? And stuff like that. So I started looking around, and one of the things that popped up, which was not that hard to find, but I thought this was pretty interesting because this guy leads to all kinds of things. Was this guy William Apes? Apes, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Um, this guy, as I'm reading here, it says that he's of a mixed tribes. I'm not sure how you pronounce the name of this tribe right here. Um, but as it reads, he's mixed race of Indian and African ancestry. Um, but I believe that what they're really saying is that he's a Negro, and then he's the European Indian, the Turk Indian that came over here. That's what I believe it's really saying. I've seen a few images of him, but this right here doesn't scream anything African. This is something that to my opinion, white supremacy is satisfied with. So they put this image of him, and none of our people have really cared, it seems, about him. So, none of us argued or fought, the same way they're doing with Frederick Douglass's images. They're changing him to look more and more whiter and Caucasian by the day, and the same thing they're doing with Martin Luther King. I mean, soon they'll be saying, "Oh, Martin Luther King freed the slaves and or freed the well, they don't even call them Indians or Negroes. They'll be saying that he freed them. A white guy did. So whatever. But this tribe I gotta look more into. This is not even. I think I was reading on Wikipedia. This is not even actually the original name. This is a name they adopted. Um, they took a name from one of the four Mohawk kings. The tribe was actually under one of those, was listed underneath one of the Mohawk kings. Their tribes. I was actually looking at reading ahead. Nothing interesting really on Wikipedia, but I thought it was interesting that every time I turn around, every time I look into something, whether it be the Ohio Miami Indians, the Florida Miami Indians, Indians in South Carolina, every time you turn around, there's either an African ancestry that's there right beside the Indian, or there's a Negro slave tied into them. The the Miami Indians of Florida. They right away they talk about Negroes were there and they were interracial mixing, and stuff like that. And it's like, no, we know what's going on. The Turks are the Indians. The Negro or the so-called African is the indigenous. They're point blank period. But whatever. This guy though, he has some pretty interesting things that he did with his life. I thought this was something here. Look at this, right? He wrote a few books. I seen there was a sister. She actually made a video that I need to check out about this one right here, Sons of the Forest, talking about Indians or Native Americans, whatever. And then I thought this was another one right here, right? Right. See, and I just still can't get over this. Growing up in that Southern Baptist home, never did I ever hear anything about the lost 10 tribes ever. They make it sound that the Old Testament is done away with. It's all about the New Testament. It's all about Paul's writings. It's all about Revelation. It's all about Jesus. Never, then when the Jews, had Jesus, crucified, that the Jews were all, 12 tribes. They were all there in one. They were all unified. They were all together. And they just wanted, done away with. But so I still get a kick out of that. How we go back and we read about early American history, and everybody that came to America or was here in America, knew about the whole lost 10 tribes. They knew about it. It wasn't uncommon. But, nowadays it's like, what? Lost 10 tribes? What are you talking about? You're joining a cult. You know what I'm saying? Who talks about that stuff? So these are just some of the things I think I'm going to be looking into next. Right now I just want to get this information out there. If somebody else wants to go ahead and look into it and just, leave a comment, and tell me, you're going to make a video about it. I won't mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm still going to read, but, just to see what someone else digs up and finds. And I thought this right here, I was reading here, right, hold on. There we go. Right here. this is another one I think I need to really look into while I still, have it on my mind. What he actually wrote and said to the king, because as I go back, as I get to the bottom here, they claim that Frederick Douglass might have found inspiration for a speech that he had about the Negro's freedom and stuff like that from William's letter to King Philip, and I myself think that there's probably a connection that Frederick Douglass may have been either related to a tribe that was related to this Williams tribe, and because I'm almost positive Frederick Douglass was a native, and that's why he argued against what's his name there, Abraham Lincoln, saying, "Hey, you're not sending us out of this country. You're not sending us to Africa. You're not sending us to Mexico. You're not sending us to South America. You're not sending us to the Dominican Republic. We were here. We've been here for hundreds of years. Whether it be we're the North Kingdom or the South Kingdom. We've been here. You're not sending us away. And I think that's the native in him that was coming out, and they've done a good job covering up anything else he might have said about being native. So it's our job to dig it out, find out what he had to say, and go over it. This guy here, though, you can definitely tell he speaks from the history of being here and having the land taken from him. He even quotes Job, but it shouldn't surprise us because later on we find out that William Apes was a minister, so he's familiar with the whole Bible thing. But even here he points out that the gospel was brought to them. Where is it said here? Although the gospel is said to be glad tidings to all people, yet we poor Indians never have found thus who brought it as messengers of mercy. No, because you were actually bringing Dumb Diverses 1452 and others. You were bringing the sword. You were sent here from the north, like in the book of Lamentations. Our enemies were sent from the north to overtake us. So I just thought this was what was it? Where was I? I don't know where I was just reading. Whatever. I'm sorry, I'm tired. It is almost 3 a.m. in the morning, so I'm sorry about this if it's sloppy. But I thought it was also. There it is. I thought that was another one that stood out too. Let every man of color wrap himself in mourning, for the 22nd of December and the 4th of July are days of mourning, not of joy. So I take that literally serious too as well. My wife and my family and my adopted family, they kind of act like I'm being a jerk when I don't celebrate Christmas anymore. I don't celebrate the fourth. I don't celebrate the 4th of July. Didn't do it this year. Didn't do it last year. To me, they're just another days I'm not taking participation in. It's not that I don't. It's hard to explain because the more we learn, the more we know this is our land. But it's like these customs are not ours, So I'm not participating in them, So I just wanted to share this. There's probably, not probably, there's going to be more to come, I'm going to leave this link in the description box. Like I said, if anyone else wants to go ahead and beat me to it and start digging into him and finding out what he said and the connection between him and Frederick Douglass, just give me a heads up because I like to keep in contact with you just on what we're finding, So, anyways, have a good one, everyone.